Hi everyone, hope you're doing well, being safe and being kind. Welcome to Tarot by the Pines. I am your spooky host for this channel, Jason. In this video, I'll be reviewing the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, and since it is spooky season, I figured it'd be a perfect time to do so. This is a Llewellyn deck, so of course you're going to get this big magnetic box, and you're going to get that either love it or hate it cardstock, but I love the cardstock. So let's go ahead and look on the book real quick. Here is the front, here is the back, and it is magnetic. And the guidebook is going to be full color, which I absolutely love Llewellyn's guidebooks. In the beginning of the book, it just talks about like how to read the cards, stuff that if you're new to tarot would be great for you about choosing a spread, talk about the numbers, the numerology, and then it goes into the cards itself, and it's a full picture color on the left side, and then it goes into the Edgar Allan Poe story that's associated with this card. And then it goes into the divination meaning right here, and then it goes into the upright and reversal keywords. And then in the back, I believe there is some spreads. Let's see here. There is. Okay. So they have the 1, the 3 card, then they have a 5 card. Yeah. And then they have the Edgar Allan Poe spread. So you have the Raven spread, the Telltale Heart, and the Dream Within a Dream. Now, I wasn't a big reader of the Edgar Allan Poe stories. I just know a few, but I've always been, fascinated with like the lore of, him himself and his stories. So that was a reason why I wanted to pick up this deck, but also because of these fantastic card backings. They are just striking, and I am just loving the backs. So it is going to be Llewellyn cardstock. It's going to be a little bit on the laminated side, but it shuffles great. So let's go ahead and get into the majors. Let's see here. All right. So as you can see, the artwork is very striking. It's very bold, colorful, and like these colors of the dark blues, purples, and then you have this striking, I guess it's gold, where the title of the card is. It all very balanced as well. The majors are definitely a favorite of mine. It's just very interesting and unique, and it's like some of these cards are a little bit away from the traditional RWS artwork, especially with the death. But once you get into the guidebook, it talks about the story that's associated with each card, and it makes sense. However, I do not recommend this deck as a beginner because it is a little bit more advanced in terms of you have to know the traditional meaning and the traditional artwork, and also the story of which the card is talking about from Edgar Allan Poe. Now, going into the cups, I've always been a fan of the cup suits, and this is no different. The cards just feel really well in the hands. I will say that some of these cards, it goes from dark and then into light, which can be a little bit striking and, just out of, the ordinary. I wish it would have stuck to one palette or the other, which I would have preferred the dark palette. And here are the wands. Now, the wand suit has never been a suit that I can click with, and unfortunately for this deck, it does not do anything for me as well. There's some cards that really, it really tries hard to connect with an Edgar Allan Poe story, but, it can't always be what you want. So for not only that, it's just not a deck I would recommend for someone who is just starting out in tarot. Now, going into my favorite suit is the swords. Love the swords. Very dark, grim, and just striking. And of course, Three of Swords is the through the heart, telltale heart. And some of these images are like so interesting, and I love, learning about the interpretations of different artwork that's just really striking and captivating. And for the court cards, never been a big fan of court cards. I struggle with them, connecting with them. And for this, it goes into the story that Edgar Allan Poe was telling, and it's just, challenging. So overall, this is a challenging deck. Going into the Pentacles, been a fan of the Pentacles as well. Very different interpretations in the Pentacle suit. It's a deck. This deck reminds me of, like all these different short stories. And of course, it is on Edgar Allan Poe stories, but it's a deck that I can see myself working with on a dark, stormy night. And it's just a perfect deck to work with in terms of that spooky vibe. Overall, this deck, it is a very beautiful, striking deck that's fun to work with. However, I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner, more for an advanced reader and someone who is very interested in Edgar Allan Poe. Let me know in the comments below if you have this deck. How do you work with it? How do you like it? How do you hate it? What are some of your favorite cards? What is some of, your favorite Edgar Allan Poe stories? Just let me know in the comments below. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great spooky season. And until next time, I will see you for Tarot by the Pines.